Hello, how are you? Happy Sunday. Merry Christmas, more importantly. I hope you all had a great Christmas under the circumstances and saw as much as your family as you possibly could. Uh, Ours was limited to my house, the people in my house. So I get it. I have family in Florida, family in New York, family in New Jersey, and we weren't together this year. So okay, let's get to produce. Hopefully, as business-wise, you had good business for the Christmas holiday. Count your blessings. Speaking to people across the country, many people did not have a typical holiday business, and I saw that coming. I think I alluded to it last week. Just was not the regular demand, and that may be a harbinger for the future. I have a few opinions and predictions on the produce business going forward. I don't think it's going to be easy. If you don't do any business, you'd have to admit that Christmas and New Year's probably definitely in the top 10 of busiest weeks throughout the year. And I don't think this year was, ordinary or normal. So going forward, here's how I feel. I'm going to start from the growers, and then we'll work down to the consumers: growers, wholesalers, retail, and consumers. Okay, I might do retailers last. For the growers, hopefully they grew less because many of these row crops are 60 to 90-day crops, so they were in the middle of it. They didn't know how business was going to be. Hopefully, they planted less, and that would help. Unfortunately, especially my friends in Mexico, here's what happens. They all get together. 10 farmers get together. Let's say they all grow squash. And they say, I'm going to grow less. And they all say, yeah, I'm going to grow less. I'll grow less. And they all go back home and they say, they're all going to grow less. I'm going to grow more and capture the market. My friends in Mexico, and you know what? That happens everywhere. Everybody does the same thing. They all think the other guy, so now you're back to square one. You should start telling the truth. This would have been a great year to sell less, and I'll tell you why. If you don't do business in arguably the two of the top 10 weeks of the year, what do you think is going to happen in the first 2 weeks of January? So going forward, here's my prediction. I think it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. In order for it to get better, people need to work, restaurants need to open, but first, people need to work because without no money, you can't buy food. So that is my first concern. This stimulus package is up in the air again, and this is not a political statement, but I just think we need more money to American citizens than we need to send foreign aid. So you could take that any way you like. This is just a common sense thing. We're in trouble here, and you got to take care of your family first, and so that's just the way I see it. So $600 for a family is really not going to cut it, because I think going forward, we really need a big shot in the arm to get us to a point where people could go back to work. Then maybe that's the vaccine, maybe that's herd immunity, maybe that's anything. Maybe it's just the realization you can't stay locked up in your house forever, and because the consequences are far greater. I can tell you this personally, not saying anybody, personally. We were tested last week because we had 2 false positives in our family. In the same day, 2 false positives, then everybody was negative. I had people in my house with the virus, and I didn't get it. And I'll be 64 years old next month, so I'm in, and I just think going hungry. I think going hungry is worse than getting a virus. In fact, I'm going to tell you a funny story. They stuck that thing up my nose. I felt like it was coming out the back of my head. They called me, they called my wife back. I thought she was joking. They said, oh, the test didn't register. Your test didn't register, so you got to come back. I told my wife, tell them I'd rather get the virus to come back for that test. My eyes hurt until 4 or 5 hours later. So, again, this is a personal opinion. I'm not trying to make any political statements here, but going hungry, and there's a lot of Americans going hungry is to me is worse. And God forbid your kids are going hungry is worse than getting a virus that you got a 99% chance of beating. Okay, that's all I have to say. So hopefully the growers grew less. Now we could go two ways here. I think some growers did grow less. So if we do get a nice stimulus, or we get this virus under control that people go back to work, the scenario could be quite different. It could be a lot of shortages. Why? Because more demand with less product. I would hope it ends up that way. But the way I see it, less demand. I just see, even if growers cut back, I think the demand is going to be even less than that. I see the writing on the wall, and I've watched that train come down the track for 40 years, and I'm very rarely wrong, and that's the way I see this. I just think everybody better get used to selling the stuff for what you could get. Again, I go back to that scenario. You hear a lot of growers, this company is quoting 12, and this company is going, this is not the year for that. This is the year to keep the stuff moving. So, and the growers the next is the wholesale level. Wholesale level, these growers are definitely going to probably be, if there is no demand, chances are the growers are going to send them to the terminal markets. That's what they always do, because something is better than nothing in return. And the same scenario will hold true at the wholesale level. It will be the price to keep the stuff moving. Okay? Then we have the consumers. As I said before, without people going back to work, or without a real, big stimulus to get us maybe over the hump to people going back to work, consumers are going to be the key to our recovery. They are the biggest part of our business, even more so than restaurants, because as you saw last time, consumers really picked up the slack, and there was really a big boom in produce, and it's still evident now because people were cooking at home, and you could, feeding a family at home, you're gonna buy more produce than in a restaurant. So now here's the big caveat: retail can be the big factor in helping us get through this. And in big retail, I want you to listen very, very closely. I'm going to try not to bash you, and I know you have stockholders and profits and everything, but you could be the vehicle to get us through this. What do I mean? When the growers can't sell it and the wholesalers can't sell it, and there is no market, you need to step up and reduce prices so consumers with no money can afford it. That will be the big caveat in helping us get through this. If you'll be helping the consumer, you'll be helping the growers, you'll be helping the wholesalers, and consumers. I want to tell you, how you're going to make this work? Shop at the guys with the cheapest prices for the same stuff, because retailers can't help themselves. They're into profits, and I'm not beating them over the head. You have to make profit, but there's time. This is like the greater good. Don't tell me about all these bullshit stories about how you're doing this and how you're doing that. Could be how you're actually helping your fellow Americans and your fellow family members survive. This is more important than profits. I know I'm going to get people mad at me, but if you've been following me for the last 20 years, that really doesn't cut it with me. But this could be a really great point. So independents will do it all the time. So any consumers that you have independent stores that shop in terminal markets, they're gonna be the right price, because they've been doing this for years. But I'm telling you, big retail, you could be our angel. you could be the one that gets us through this. And you know, that's it. That's all I got to say. And let me step. Oh, I'm sorry. The dogs are quiet, quiet, quiet. Sorry. My dogs bark at my own kids. My dogs come into the house and they bark at my own kids. But that's my life. The box program. I think it's great what the government did, but I want to give you a better. I think a better idea. To me, Americans standing in record numbers online for hours at a food pantry to get their produce, meat, and everything is a little demeaning. So why not for the next round? Why don't you give out a card, a credit card? And it's more cost effective. Give out a credit card that's only can be used for meat, cheese, produce. That's it. They could go to the store and buy produce. Now, if the retailers are listening, what I just said, they could give them, a good bargain and you know what? That kind of greases the wheels and lets everybody work. You give some families their self-respect back, that they're not waiting in line for free food. They're going into the store with a card that they could buy produce. And I just think that's a much, much better idea. And I believe it's a more cost effective. Instead of putting it on the truck, make people deliver. Everybody has a store they could go to. You know what I mean? Listen, I'm not the smartest guy in the world. There's a lot of smart people out there. Can't believe that you can't figure this stuff out. So that's my Paul Manfrey solution for the produce business. Listen, hopefully I'm wrong. If ever I wanted my crystal ball to be wrong, it'll be now. I want everybody to do better, not worse. I just think we're going to be in for a minimum tough 3 months. And hopefully this vaccine takes, or we get herd immunity, or people just get tired and go back to work. I don't really know the scenario, but that's my take on it. I know some people have a tough idea, and if you've been listening to me for all these years, you know that I haven't done anything but produce. You know what? I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave this for another time. As far as the market predictions for coming up, I have to say what I just said. I just think it's going to be the price to sell stuff. I don't think there's going to be any markets that hold up at the higher end. I think it might be a bloodbath, especially in the first 2 weeks of January, and that's an across-the-board thing. I just think anything high priced is not going to sell at consumer level. You have, if you read my reports in the past, how I feel. I don't want to go into too many things, but when you had food service, they have to have a certain item, so it doesn't make a difference what price. And if you're going for a restaurant, no matter what the price of it, asparagus is $5 a plate. No matter what the price is, wholesale, it's going to cover. Believe me, it's going to be less than $5 a plate for 6 spears of asparagus. But at the consumer level right now, people are going to be very cognizant of what they spend. So I don't think any of the high-priced items, I think they'll drop relatively quickly because people can't afford it. Again, I only do this to the benefit of the produce business. Don't take it to heart if you feel insulted. I believe what I believe. And you are more than welcome to dispute anything I say or have a debate about it. Believe me, I learn from people every day. That's what I do. I listen to everyone, and I treat everyone the same. That you see it all the time. You treat the janitor with the same respect as the CEO. That's my whole life. I've treated people like that my whole life, and I'm not going to change now. So I think that's it. I want to wish you and your families a happy New Year. I'll probably give you a nice New Year's message like I did a Christmas message. I'll show you. I gotta do a video of this our Christmas tradition that we are going to do again on New Year's. So I think that's going to be my video. So stop in on New Year's. I think you might make this your family tradition too. I love you. I love the produce business. Retail, let's step up and let's get out of this together. We really need you on this. Growers, consumers, come on. We're Americans. We'll pull together. Let's get through this. I love you. Take care. God bless you. And I'll see you on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve.